Hello and welcome to ASMR Facts. I'm back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be going over 50 facts about the U.S. Interstate Highway System. Now, this is a system of highways that connect cities and states to one another, making it easy for people to travel from different cities and states. It makes it easier for freight to travel from cities and different cities and states as well. And so, the interstate highway system here in the United States is very, very important to society. Now let's get started on some facts. So, number one, the U.S. Interstate Highway System is officially called the Dwight D. Eisenhower National System of Interstate and Defense Highways. Number two, it was authorized in 1956 under the Federal Aid Highway Act. So interstates have been around for quite a while. And to this day, they're very, very important to society. Number three, President Eisenhower was inspired by Germany's Autobahn system during World War II. Now that's something that I did not know. I didn't know he was inspired by that. Number four, the system was designed partially for national defense and troop movement. And that's understandable. I mean, interstates will get you from one city and state to another relatively quickly. I mean, usually there's not a lot of interstates pretty much go like either straight across east or west, or perfectly from north to south. Now of course it's not like in a straight line or anything, but for the most part, I mean, they don't really have a lot of zigzags and deviations and stuff like that. For the most part, they're pretty straight, Of course, not perfect, but I can definitely see how this was a design for national defense and troop movement. I can definitely see it. Number five, interstates make up about 1% of all public roads in the United States. That's something I didn't know either. 1% of all public roads. Number six, despite that, they carry roughly 25% of all vehicle miles traveled. Interstates, they have a high speed limit too. And you can go very long distances on an interstate without having to stop. Unless there's traffic, of course. Number seven, there are about 48,700 miles of interstate highways. That's a lot. I did not know that. 48,700 miles of interstate highways. Wow. Number eight, every interstate route number is standardized nationwide. Number nine, even-numbered interstates primarily run east and west. Number 10, odd-numbered interstates primarily run north and south. Number 11, the lowest route numbers are in the south and in the west. And number 12, route numbers increase as you go north and as you go east. So I know out west, it starts with Interstate 5 running north and south all the way to the East Coast, where it's Interstate 95. And I know all the way in the south, running east to west, is I-10, And all the way up north, it is I-90. So it is very standardized. You can tell it was very organized. It was very planned out how they wanted this interstate system to run. Number 13, 3-digit interstates are auxiliary routes. Number 14, auxiliary routes usually serve cities or bypass urban areas. And that's true. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, let me think of one. Like Interstate 410 in San Antonio, Texas. That pretty much makes a loop around San Antonio. Trying to think of another one. Interstate 610 in Houston, Texas. That pretty much makes a loop around Houston. And in Dallas, you have Interstate 635. It's not a complete loop because Interstate 20 runs south in South Dallas, but there's a partial loop that Interstate 635 makes in Dallas. And I think it's the same way in Fort Worth with Interstate 820. I'm trying to remember. And it's like that in other cities across the United States as well, where, you'll have like a 3-digit interstate that either loops around a city or it's like a bypass around like the main part of the city pretty much. So yeah. Let's see. Number 15, if the first digit of a 3-digit interstate is even, it forms a loop or a beltway. Number 16, if the first digit is odd, it is typically a spur route. And the spur routes, if I'm not mistaken, it's kind of a route that leads to like another part of the city where it pretty much abruptly ends and turns into like a regular road, basically. Number 17, interstate shields are red, white, and blue. Number 18, speed limits are set by individual states, not the federal government. So yeah, like individual states can mandate certain speed limits, right? And interstates have different speeds as you go through different states. I'm trying to think, as I know in Texas, when you're out on like open interstate, like away from the big city, normally the speed limit is 75. But there's other states, I'm trying to think, I want to say in Louisiana, when you're away from like a city, the speed limit is usually like 70 when you're on like open interstate. I guess depending on where you are too. So it depends, right? Closer you get to a big city, it's usually lower. On some interstates, it's actually 60 when you're in the big city. So it does depend on the individual states. It's not a federally mandated speed that you have to drive. It depends on what the state has. Number 19, most interstates prohibit pedestrians, bicycles, and farm equipment, which is a good thing because an interstate with cars going that fast is not suitable for pedestrians or bicycles or, really slow farm equipment. Even though I have seen cases where there have been people walking along the interstate, right? I've seen people riding bicycles along the interstate. Of course, in the emergency lane, there's no way they'd be doing that in the main lane, but I've seen people literally like ride bicycles, on interstates. It's crazy. And when I saw that person riding a bicycle on the interstate a few years ago, this was actually, you know what? It actually wasn't an interstate. It was actually a U.S. highway. Because I was north of Dallas at the time. I was on US 75 going into Oklahoma. I was actually on my way to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And, yeah, it was somebody riding a bicycle in the emergency lane on US 75. And it was like nighttime, too. Crazy. Number 20, the system was originally planned to be completed by 1975. Number 21, some sections are still being expanded or rebuilt today. Oh, yes. Let me tell you. Even I-10, there's like always stretches of I-10 under construction. And to me, it seems like it's going to stay like that forever. Because once they get done expanding a section, they're just going to move further down to another section and expand it. So that's just how it is with interstates. Is what it is, right? Number 22. Interstate 90 is the longest interstate stretching coast to coast. So I'm guessing it goes all the way from the west coast all the way to the east coast. Number 23, Interstate 95 runs along most of the east coast. Number 24, Interstate 5 runs along the west coast from Mexico to Canada. Number 25, Interstate 10 runs from California to Florida across the southern U.S. Number 26, Hawaii has interstates even though they don't connect to other states. I didn't even know how Hawaii has interstates. Number 27, Alaska has no interstate highways. Number 28, interstates were designed with limited access, which means there are no direct driveway entrances to homes or businesses or anything like that. Number 29, most exits are numbered by mile markers, not sequentially. Number 30, mile-based exit numbers help drivers estimate distance and travel time. And I'm actually a truck driver, and so I kind of realized this as I was driving down the interstates. I was like, I'll look at like the mile marker and then I'll see the exit number and I'm like, oh, this kind of matches up, so I kind of noticed that. Number 31, early interstates help accelerate suburban growth because interstate is the fastest way to get to and from the big city. And because of the high interstate speed, you can quickly go from suburban areas to the big city. Nowadays it's kind of changing though because so many people move to the suburbs. It creates issues with traffic in the morning and afternoons though. So that's the only thing about that. Number 32, construction displaced many urban neighborhoods, especially in the 1950s through the 70s. And I did hear about that, where, they'll have the interstate running like straight through like a neighborhood, and they'd end up having to like basically tear the neighborhood down in order to build the interstate. And, that was a big issue for many people around the time where interstates were really being built. Number 33, interstates significantly reduce cross-country travel time. And I'd imagine before interstates, it used to take a lot longer, because I believe before this, they only had like U.S. routes and stuff like that, U.S. highways. And so they were a lot slower, because U.S. highways, many times, the speed limit will be high, but U.S. highways run through like, small towns and stuff. And when you're going through a small town, there's red lights, the speed limit goes down by a lot. And so it takes a lot longer to get somewhere via a U.S. highway versus an interstate in many cases. Number 34, long distance trucking relies heavily on interstates. Yes, it does. Especially when you're going from state to state, city to city. Interstates are heavily relied on for truck drivers. Number 35, many interstates follow or replace older U.S. highways. See, U.S. highways, they're still around today, but the primary way to get somewhere long distance is interstates. But U.S. highways still connect, smaller towns and cities and stuff as well, because not every single town is right off the interstate. So, number 36, curves and grades are engineered for high-speed travel. And, Number 37, interstates typically have at least 4 lanes. And that's usually how it is, like out on like an open interstate. There's usually 4 lanes with a, with a median in the middle. So it'll be like 2 lanes in each direction with the median. But once you get closer and closer to the city, it'll be more and more lanes. And so it actually talks about that in number 38. It says urban interstates often have 8 or more lanes. And you need that when you have more and more people taking interstates in the big city. And many parts of interstates around big cities are being expanded. They're going from the 4-lane divided interstate to 6 lanes or 8 lanes. Number 39, rest areas are common, but commercial services are restricted. Yeah, rest areas. It's basically an area where you can stop, take a break, take a breather, eat some lunch or something like that. There's usually garbage cans. A lot of truckers, they park at rest areas at night to go to sleep. I wish they had more rest areas though, because there is a national parking shortage for commercial CDL drivers, and with more rest areas, I think that would help solve that issue. Number 40, federal law originally banned billboards along rural interstates. Wow, I didn't know that. I wonder why. Number 41, the system was the largest public works project in U.S. history. Number 42, interstate bridges must meet strict federal safety standards. Number 43, snow removal and maintenance are handled by state governments. I didn't know that wasn't a federal thing, but I'm not surprised either. Number 44, interstates are crucial for emergency evacuations. Yes, they are. Especially if you live down south, where, like for example, the Gulf Coast. Interstates are very crucial for evacuating cities along the coast if there's like a really, really strong hurricane approaching. And so, yeah, I know at times they can like make it to where both sides of the interstate run in like one direction if there's like an emergency evacuation in certain cases, if I'm not mistaken. I know they've done it before. It says that, number 45, many routes were built through mountains using tunnels and cuts. Number 46, the interstate system helped reshape American car culture. Them interstates were built, everybody wanted a car. Number 47, some cities have removed or capped interstates to reconnect neighborhoods. Number 48, interstates are funded by federal and state fuel taxes. Number 49, the original design life of many interstates was 50 years. Number 50, even today, interstates remain the backbone of U.S. transportation. All right, that is 50 facts about the U.S. interstate highway system. I hope that you are relaxed, and I hope that you stay tuned for more videos.